there were participants who could not attend this setup session. So it's better that I go it through again. But yeah, but no worries, we have more than enough time. So good morning, everyone. My name is Jason Chao, and I'm going to do this practical lab using AI to enrich image data. For those who have just joined this session, please open your welcome kit, go into the folder of the practical lab, and there's a folder called using AI to enrich image data folder. Open that folder. Inside this folder, you will find a document called important links. Please open the folder and open the important links document. And I'm going to paste this link again into the chat for you to see. So can you all open this document, I guess? If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and ask me, no worries, or put your question in the chat. Okay, let's get started. So today we are going to discuss using the Google Vision API to enrich your image data set. Google Vision API is a product by Google. It is pre-trained artificial intelligence models to provide more information about images. So the easiest way to explore the API is to open this link. When you see in this document, you will see Google Vision API drag and drop demo. Click on this link to open this drag and drop demo. Okay, I guess you I guess you don't have any problem opening this drag and drop demo, right? Well, it is easy to use this demo. Let me show you a larger screen. So, oops, okay. Well, suppose that you have some images. You can just drag one of those images into this box to see the result of the Google Vision API. After you drop an image, you may ask you to pass this reCAPTCHA, wait for a short while, where Google Vision API would give you some information. Well, just in case, if you don't have any picture on your computer that you can use, go back to the information link file. I already provided you with some suggestions for the source of images, where you can use the data set by Elena yesterday, and you can use the visualizing image clusters data set by the Identity Design Lab that I presented yesterday. Or the easier ways is that I recommend you to open Wikimedia Commons and just download one of the random featured pictures and put it inside the Google Vision API. So after dragging an image to the drag and drop demo, you will see that first it detects the objects that Google Vision API thinks they are present in this image. Well, although you can see that this picture is quite blurred, the Vision API successfully recognizes that there are buildings in these pictures. And you may also open labels to see what labels are attributed to this picture. You can see cloud, water, sky, water resources with super high scores. you can see that well, for the label with scores over 90%, you can see that they are they are quite accurate. So this picture has clouds, water skies, water resources, atmosphere, daytime, and skyscraper, afterglow, dusk. Yeah, I think we can agree with this set of labels attributed to the picture. And you can also see properties. Properties are the properties of the images that Google Vision API suggests to you, but they are not so relevant in that case, so we just ignore it. And we can also open Safe Search to see that if this image is considered not safe for work or not safe for search for some reason. So it's not unlikely an adult content, not related to medical, not related to violence, and not related to racism. And we can try another file by pressing the New File button. Okay, we can navigate to a folder in which there are images. Yeah, let's change it to another one. I'm just on random. Okay, I see a scary scout here, and let's see what Google Vision API would tell us. Okay, okay, it thinks it's a sculpture. Okay, wood, organism, bone. Well, bone is right. Wood, yes, we have wood organism. Yes, it's organism. Trunk, yes, we have skull. Artifacts, perhaps, yeah, but artifacts has dropped to 70%. And this is so interesting. And this demo is very interesting, as you can just drag and drop any picture into this box to see what Google Vision API thinks the image has certain attributes. When we go to Safe Search, we can see that, hey, it has some possibility relating to violence. Yes, well, our scouts would usually suggest some kind of violence, so we might agree with it. So this is what roughly a Vision API does. Of course, it provides much more attributes to it. Yeah, and there's a lot of potential for us to use the Google Vision API in research. But before you use it, we need to be careful with the price. Google Vision API is not free. It is a proprietary service, so it's not entirely free for you to use, but it could be virtually free for us to use as long as we are not processing too many pictures. So you may visit Google Vision API's pricing page. It's just cloud.google.com/vision/pricing. You may just scroll down to the prices section. You can see that for the first 1,000 images per month, they are all free. Sorry, they are all free for you to use. So you have a quota of 1,000 images per month for you to use it with Google Vision API. And for the next, from 1001 to the next 5 million images, you just need to pay $150 US per 1,000 images. So it is not that pricey, but you need to be careful that Google Vision API has so many features. It can detect so many features from an image. It can detect label, text, whether it's safe, are there faces, are there landmarks, and are there logos. And each feature has a price, and I will show you how to disable the features that you don't need to use. But but please be mindful that it's not so as counting one image per request, but it is one um, feature per image per unit when Google Cloud counts how much you should pay for using the Vision API. But I think for most researchers, 1,000 images a month should be more than enough, I think. Yeah, but if you need to analyze more images, it is not super expensive to do. But if you happen to have too many images, it could start get a bit pricey. And I remember that Elena, Jana, and me processed it about 10 or 20,000 20,000 images back in 2019 in Amsterdam, and we spent about 200 and 300 US dollars analyzing those images. So yeah, so it would only matter when you have a lot of images to analyze. But no worries, I will tell you even so even if you happen to pass this threshold, there's a way for you to use it, to use Google Vision API without paying or paying as less as possible. The way to do it is to register using a new payment card. So for those who did not come to my setup session, I will guide you through the process of opening an account with Google Vision API. Okay, now please go back to this important links document and open the Google Cloud link. So it's console.cloud.google.com. Now we need to change to another screen to show you how to do it. Just a quick moment. Okay. So visit console.cloud.google.com. I suppose that you have logged in to Google using your Gmail account. Once you hit console.cloud.google.com, you will see the Google Cloud Platform page. On this page, on the top, you can see the message that get your free trial is waiting. Activate an account to get 300 US dollars credits to explore Google Cloud products. If you want to, if you have no problem providing your payment details to Google, you may follow along. I can assure you that Google will not charge you on your card. Google will test if your account is active, but after that, Google will not charge your account. And also, even after your free credits exhaust, Google Cloud will not charge your account right away. It would ask you to do some confirmation before they officially charge on your credit card or debit card. But yeah, but as what I said, Google Cloud Vision API is not is a proprietary product. It's not entirely free. So to be able to use it, you need to register an account with Google Cloud, and at the same time, you need to provide your payment details before you can use it. So to activate and to sign up for an account, click activate on the top right corner. Here you need to select your country. So in a case, let me select Portugal, and you need to check that I agree to the terms of service. There are no other options available, so you have to agree to the terms of services. click continue. On this page, it will ask you to choose your account type. The tax laws vary from country to country. In some cases, if you claim that you are a business, you can get your payments deducted from the tax calculation. But if you don't want to go into those complicated things, just say that you are an individual. You can provide your name in through your address and also your payment details. And then you can click Start My Free Trial to open an account with Google Cloud. So I'll stay here for a minute to see if you have any problem signing up for Google Cloud. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and shout it out.
Jason?
Yes.
Sorry. It says, I think that I've already activated previously, maybe 2 years ago.
No problem.
And it says that my trial expired.
Okay, I see. Okay, if your trial expired, no worries. Let me see. Okay, I will take you to the next step to see if you can create a new project. If Google lets you create a new project, you have no problem using the Vision API, as long as your usage does not exceed the 1,000 limit. You don't need to pay anything for this month.
Thank you. Perfect.
Yes, I know that for the participants who took part in some periods workshops or labs using Google products, they might have activated their Google Cloud account. But I guess for the majority for the majority of the participants, you may not have activated your Google Cloud account. So I suppose that you are done opening an account with Google Cloud, and I need to show you the real Google account. Just go back to this link, console.googlecloud.com. Now you should be able to use its full functionality here. So to be able to use it, please press Demo Project and click New Project on this corner. On this new project, just give your project a name. You may just say a demo project or my Google Vision API. No problem. Just give a random name to this project. I'm not creating a project myself now because I already got a couple of projects on my account, and there's a limit on the number of accounts that I can create. So I will just click cancel here. But in your case, create a project, name it in a way that you want, and then click create. So after creating a project, you should see it appearing under this menu. So previously, I have already created a demo project. Now I just click on my demo project. Click on the top left menu button. Scroll it down to IAM and admin. If I'm too fast, please shout it out and I will wait for you. And go to services accounts. So I say again, go to the top left menu button, click it, open this menu, go to IAM and admin, and go to service account. In your case, you should see nothing here. You should see nothing here, but in your case, please click Create Service Account. Here, you need to create an account for your computer. So in your case, you may type my laptop, or you may just give it a name as how you usually call your computer. But in the IT world, the service accounts or these or these machine users are usually named after your computer. Just type the name of your computer into this field and then click Create. In the second step, click down this drop box, select Basic, and select Owner. When you move your cursor to Owner, you should see full access to all resources. Select, do it again. Open the drop-down box under Row, go to Basic, select Owner, click Continue. On the first step, just click Done. In your case, you should be able to see just one user, the one that you just created. There's under the key ID, there should be no key. Please go to the this button under Actions, click on it and click Create Key. It shows a prompt that which file format you're going to download. Just select the default one, JSON, and click Create. You should see a new file being downloaded on your computer. If you have any problem following me, you may just shout it out.
Sorry, can you please go a step back?
Okay. This step. Okay.
I created I changed the account access, yes, and then I have grant users access to the service account optional. Click done. Just okay,
click done. So can you see this page? Can you see the service account page? Yes. So go to the see this button under Actions.
I just don't have a key ID on the. It says
okay.
No keys.
Yes. Okay. Yes. This is absolutely normal. So click on this menu. Click on this button under Actions.
Okay.
Click Create Key. Then it will ask you to select the file format. Select JSON, JSON.
Okay. It's done. Thank you.
So, thank you. No worries. So, any other questions so far? Okay, so let's move on. So, in case that you don't want to use your own Google Cloud account, well, I have a contingency arrangement for you. So when you open the using AI to enrich image data folder, you will see a special zip file called GUI API Practical Lab Provisional Credential file. You may download this zip file. I already created a provisional credential file for you to use. But if you have just downloaded your file, no worries. You don't need to download this one. You can use your own. But in case you have problem registering a new cloud account, or you have any concerns providing your details to Google Cloud, you can download this credential file. There's a password to this file. If you need to use it, just put it into the chat, and I will give you the password to this zip file. So far, okay. Okay, then and then please open this important links documents all together. So now we need to download the tool for us to use the Google Vision API. So the tool that we are using is called Inspector GUI. So if you are familiar with the digital method space, there was series of projects called Inspector. They were all clients for you to use the Google Vision API, but they were command line programs. So when you need to use them, you need to type a command or change the configurations in a text file in order to use it. But over the last week, I developed a program with a graphical user interface for you to use the Vision API more easily. So please click on this link to open the Inspector GUI page. So on this page, you will see some instructions. Please scroll all the way down. When you after scrolling down to the bottom, you will see assets. Under assets, you will see a bunch of files here. The Inspector GUI supports both a Mac and Windows. If you are using Mac, download the one, Inspector GUI macOS.zip. If you are running Windows, download the Inspector GUI Win64.zip. So for those running Windows, usually please download the 64 version first. The 32 version is for people who are running some older version of Windows, or they know that their Windows is off the 32-bit version, but usually most Windows are 64 bits. So please download the 64-bit version. Only if you cannot run the 64-bit version, then you should try the 32-bit version. It should take a short while to download. Do you have any problem downloading? Please just shout out. Okay, I will take you to the installation process. It is super straightforward, but it's better that I show you how to do it. Okay. There are multiple computers here. I'm showing you some of the computers that I use. So now I'm using Windows. In this case, I'm downloading the Win64 version of the Inspector. So I click Open File, and I see my the Inspector GUI 64, and I just need to drag this file to the desktop for me to use it more easily. On your desktop, you should be able to see this new folder. Double click on it. Just wait for a short while. You should be able to see a program with an icon. Double click on it. So when you first run this program on Windows, Windows would tell you that, hey, we do not trust this application, so I do not want to run it. It is usual that you see this screen. You can only see one button here, right? There's a way to get around. Press the more info link here. After pressing the more info link, you will see the button run anyway. Just click run anyway. And you will see the Inspector GUI running on Windows without any problem. Okay, so let me go back to Mac. So in case you are using Mac, let me download the Mac OS version. Okay, you should see this file in download in the download folder. Well, sometimes Mac will help you unzip it, but if it doesn't, double click it to unzip the zip file. You should see a new file with a new GUI file inside called Unix executable. I suggest you move this folder to My Documents. Just replace it. Yep. And double click it. Double click the Inspector GUI. Okay. So it would ask you that, okay, it's a program downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? You just click open to open it. And next time you open this application, you won't see that window telling you, asking you, are you sure you want to open it? But in case you see that window, just click open to open it. Yeah, it is that straightforward. So I pause here for a minute to see you if you have any problems while opening the Inspector GUI on your computer. Okay, so I suppose that there are no more. I suppose that there are no other difficulties. I will start using the Inspector GUI. So it is so exciting to use it. So for the sake of simplicity, I use the version on Windows, but it is exactly the same but it is exactly the same if you are using it on the Mac OS. So the first thing you need to do is to select a credential file that you downloaded from Google after you creating a Surface account. So in the field Google Cloud Credential file, click Browse. And then select a credential file that you just downloaded. from Google Vision API, sorry, from the Google Cloud account. In this case, I have already downloaded my credential file here, and I will just need to select this credential file. This is my own credential file. So any problem locating your credential file? I suppose no. Okay, brilliant. So if possible, please follow me to go back to the to this important links document. So in this document, you will see that I have already put a note on my practical lab on top of this document. Please open this link. But indeed, what I'm going to say at this practical lab all already written in full in this document. If you want to revisit my content again, in addition to watching this video again, you can also open this link to see everything that I told you and what you need to do to use in order to use the Google Vision API. So on this document, please click select the features to be detected. So under number 6, open select the features to be detected. So as what you see on the interface of the Inspector GUI, you will see that you have a list of features that you can choose that you can choose to ask the Google Vision API to detect for you. And for each feature, well, sometimes it's easier for you to look at Google's official documents on what those features might entail. If you want to know what these features means, just click on the link to see what these features are. Let's say for a face, where indeed Google Vision API could tell you precisely the location of the faces, what are the emotions. Well, it has very detailed descriptions. Let's say for safety, it tells you, okay, if the picture contains either violent or racist comments. For faces, it tells you the expressions, and I will tell you in a bit what are the emotions. It tells you labels and web entities. For web entities, it gives you some similar images, full and partial matching images, and some labels, special labels called web entities, and I will explain them in a bit. They will tell you what are the text in the image, and are there any landmarks or what are the logos detected in the image. Well, as what I said, Google Vision API is not free. Sorry, Google Vision API is not free. So if you so after using your first 1,000 images credit, when you need to save money, you may need to uncheck some of the features that you don't need to use. Let's say I just want to know if the images that I'm working on are safe to use. Just keep the safety field checked. Otherwise, they will by default all features are on, and in this case, all the features will be requested. As in your case, it does not matter to use because you just created a new account. You have 1,000 images for free this month, and also you have free $100 worth of credit for you to use. So you don't need to pay anything, even if you get all these features detection active. But in case when you when you want to process a lot of images, you need to be careful how many images you are going to process and how many features you really need, what features you really need, and only check the features that you really need to save some money. So the next step is simple, is to select some patches to be processed by the API. So there are three ways to add the patches. The first one is to select some files on your computer. So to the right of add images from, there are three options. You can select files on this computer, select the folder on this computer, or add images from the web. Let me first show you files on this computer. So for our convenience, I already downloaded some patches. So these are the patches that I borrowed from the Density Labs image clusters practical labs data set that we used yesterday. In case you need to use some of those patches, we can go back to the practical lab to the important links document. There are three sources of images that I would suggest. Well, you may download the Density Labs image clusters here, or you can open the Wikipedia Commons to download some images for you to test. If you have any concerns uploading your own pictures from your computer. So let me jump back to the Inspector. Sorry. Okay. Let me select some of those patches. After selecting these patches, press before pressing the invoke Google Vision API button, you can change the output name for the output files. The Inspector generates two files. One is a file called Jason, and it contains the full results from the Google Vision API. It is more technical, so I think that most people would not need to use it. But it is always good that you give it a new that you provide new name for this file. So I would say that it is a Tuesday morning session, and it also generates a second file called the CSV, comma separated file, and perhaps the CSV file is the one that researchers usually work with, and it is good that we give it an other name and press save, and when the output file's names changed, press invoke Google Vision API. So I think it is even better if I could also demo it on the Mac machine to make sure that to let you see that actually is the same. So here on the Mac, you need to select your credential file, and in a case I already have a credential file here, and I should add some pictures to my to the Inspector, and it's the same. I click browse to change the file name. In this case, I'm saving it to the desktop. Once you're all set, click invoke Google Vision API. a feature that differentiates the Inspector GUI with the previous command line version is that the Inspector GUI version does simultaneous processing. So it pushes 5 images by default to the Google Vision API at a time. Is not just sequential process. So traditionally, these clients would push the images one by one. So only after they finish the first one, then they would push the second one. But what it does is that it pushes just all the images in parallel to Google Vision API to achieve simultaneous processing. So you can see that it's really fast. Okay, now so after running, we can already see the results files generated, and we can open the CSV file to see the result. Okay, this is so by default, your Excel might appear. You will see that first you will see the link, the full path of your image, the base name of your image. This column shows if the image was successfully processed by the Google Vision API. In some cases, the image could not be successfully processed, and it was shown as false. But in this case, all images are true. It means that all images were successfully processed by the Google Vision API. And you can see that all images are not adult content, they are not spoof, they are not medical, they're not violent, and they are not racist. And for the facial expression, you can see that face joy, joy, sorrow, anger, surprises, underexposed, blurred, and headwear. You can see all those features being detected. Then you see labels, and you can see that, okay, some pictures depict train, rolling stock, transport hub, and you need to go back to the picture to see if they are if the classification is correct. And of course, I will show its limit. You see label descriptions, but you will also see label IDs. What it means is that for every label, it's not just a label, it has an ID attached to it. Or to be more precise, Google Vision API should give you an ID by default and give you a description as a piece of secondary information. So all labels must have an ID, but not all label IDs might have a description. I will discuss it when I go to web entities. But in most cases, you should see label descriptions and their corresponding IDs. So the IDs are listed in the same order as they are in the label descriptions. So the way that, so the IDs might be useful in data processing when you need to pinpoint precisely what labels might correspond to, might correspond to different images. It is more accurate to use the ID as the key that you want to rely on rather than the label in text. But of course, it depends a lot on the need of your research, or you may just consider, okay, the text in the label are just good keys for me to use. And let me jump a bit to text. So we do not see a lot of text in these images, but if you are studying meme, you should see the text from the memes are being extracted here. Okay, then we go to web entities. When we open web entities, we started to see these entities with no descriptions. So these are not mistakes. They are there on purpose. You see two semicolon here without anything. You can see that these two web entities seem to have no labels. So what are web entities? Web entities are created by Google to uniquely identify things. So they are some entities that Google would think are so-called universal, some kind of universal classification of objects in the world. But for some of the objects, there are no written description, and that's why you see empty descriptions. Uh, in this case, you may need the web entity IDs to map the relations between the images. But if you don't want to go into that precise, you may just rely on the text descriptions. And also you see best guest labels given out by the Vision API. And also very interestingly, Google Vision API gives you the partial matching images and full matching images. So for the for names, perhaps you will see a lot of full matching images, but you don't see them here. And you may also see some partially matching images. And also you may see visually similar images. And if you're interested, just open this one of these links to see how similar they are. All right, then I should introduce the other two options when you use the Google Vision API. So the second option is to add a folder on this computer. And so let's say, I suppose that you are studying a social media platform, you may use different scrapers to download images. For some scrapers, they may create a folder per user and they put the images of the user under a separate folder. So you may have a lot of images scattered in a set of folders under a big folder. If you want to add them using the first button, you have to go into those folders and select them one by one, and it's not very efficient. If you use the first button, you need to select them one by one, or you can select all of course, you can select all the pictures, but they may not include the pictures inside the subfolders. The way to do it is to use this folder on this computer. You can just choose the folder outside the subfolders, and then all pictures inside those subfolders will be inserted into the Inspector GUI. In this case, I have some interesting thing to test. I'm not testing the folder because I'm testing some not safe for work pictures. For the not safe for work pictures, I downloaded some unsafe pictures, which I think are super unsafe. I'm not showing them to you, of course, because some might feel uncomfortable. But I will, in this case, I'm not showing you, but I can still process it just by selecting the folder which contains these unsafe pictures, and then you can after selecting this folder, you will see that all pictures inside these not safe for work folders are inserted to this box. Okay, here in this section, we change the name to not safe for work. Not safe for work. Well, in addition to pressing the browse button to change the file name, you can also change the file name directly from inside the box. So let me invoke the Google Vision API again. Okay, we see the results files being generated, and we have the not safe for work CSV. So let's see what are inside. Okay, we start to see well, some more possible and likely results from the safe adult column. And you can see that, hey, now Google Cloud thinks that some of my not safe for work pictures are adult and likely to be adults and likely to be racist. And yeah, it helps you to detect. Well, so if you, well, I know that Eleanor does some research on pornographic content. If I'm not wrong, it would be super helpful if you want to know how well a platform censors or sanitizes its online contents by, let's say, by seeing how much unsafe content that you could get on a platform. But there's a kind of I would say, some significant limitation to to AI. Well, I guess some of you are familiar with the literature on the bias of AI. Well, what AI works is to build models trained on existing data. And we know that in a world, almost all data are biased to some values. So in this case, I have a picture of, I'm sorry to say, I'm not showing you, but I'm going to give you the description, is an intercourse of two men, but for the best guess label is shown as girl. So it's interesting to see that it gives you a very wrong description. It says girl, but indeed the picture is comprised of two men having an intercourse. So when you use the Google Vision API, you need to be mindful of the inherent bias inside the API. So you don't have to, so you need to consider them carefully. And you will also see some more visually similar images and all other things. So, and I should also show you how to use it, how to use the third image insertion function called adding images from the web. From the web is also important. If you click on add the images from the web, it does nothing but tells you how to process the URLs. So it just tells you that just copy the URLs of the images and paste them into the box and put one URL per line. Then if necessary, please press enter to create a new line. So some scrapers would not just let you download the images, rather they would give you a list of URLs of the images. In this case, it is better for you to use the debug feature to process those images. To work with these images, I suggest that you go back to my important links documents and open the data set by Eleanor. So I already created a copy here. Okay, let me copy the first. Well, in the interest of time, I just copy the third 15 images to the Vision API. Suppose that you encounter a data set containing a list of URLs of the images. Please just highlight them and copy them. Copy, or using Command C on a Mac or Control C on Windows. Put your input cursor into this box. If you are using Mac, Command V or Control, so there's a kind of a changes. Just Control C on your Windows or Control V on your, sorry, there's an issue about copying. Oops. Just bear with me a second. Okay, I'm back in. Okay. So open this is Alan's data set. Let me just select a few pictures. Copy these links and paste them to the box. I'm sorry I could not copy and paste just now because I was not using a Mac keyboard for my Mac computer. But usually you should press Command C and Command V on Mac and Control C and Control V on PC computers. So I should select my result file name. These are the dev to 2020, and I should put it also dev to 2020, and I invoke the Google Vision API. It should be even faster when you use the HTTPS or the URLs as the input, because it does not need to upload your image data to the Google Vision API. You are asking Google Vision API to fetch for you, so it's super quick. And after it's done, we may just open the CSV file. So usually the URLs and all the results are in the same order as how you put those URL into the inspector. So you may just copy and paste the result next to your original data set. So for the sake of accuracy, you may do a comparison to check if the URL matches. If the URL matches on the same row, you can see that, okay, all URLs are matching. So there's no change in the order. So it's good. So we can delete this duplicate column. Then we can see, okay, how these images correspond to these attributes. And there's some interesting thing I need to show you. Can you see this name? Can you see a Garfield the cat? But when you scroll to the right, you may see that, it changes. So there's sometimes it's interesting. Yesterday when I was running this on this cafe name, it says watching TV and monkey, and perhaps they improved it a little bit overnight. So it's correct now. It's correctly showing that is watching TV cartoon, but yesterday it said Garfield was a monkey. But I suggest that you should be careful about the outputs generated by Google Vision API, and you should use your common sense to have a to check if they are generating what you expected. And so when we were let me go back to my our sorry. Let me go back to our demo. Sorry. I'm sorry for keep changing my screens. Okay, Google Cloud Vision API would give you some scores for an object. Let's say it detects it's a person. This person wears pants. There's real. There's a person. It gives you a score. So there might be some objects of labels that have a low score that you want to eliminate. So these scores are not in the CSV output, but they are stored in the full JSON output. But JSON files are not easy for the people who are not familiar with this format to process. The way to ask the NIM the inspector to filter those to filter the result with low score is to open its config file. Well, to open its config file, sorry. So when you go back to the folder where the Inspector GUI program sits, you will see a config-inspector.gui file. You may open this file to change the configuration, or you can see the configuration here. This configuration tells you what are the minimum scores for the features. Just wait a sec. Okay. You may edit this JSON file using a text editor, but the structure is quite straightforward. Well, you may change this parameter to say that, hey, if I want all labels over 90% to be included and exclude those under 90%, you may put 0.9 here to say as the minimum scores required, and the same for the web entities and landmark and logos. And also you can, as you saw in the CSV file, for each attributes, there are so many labels generated. If you want to shortlist the results, or if you want few results, you can change the max result here for the maximum result of labels that you want to get from the Google Vision API. I know that some of you might use Inspector GUI in your projects in the next few days. I will be around. Just talk to me if you need any help using it. So I think my time is up. So my practical lab is more or less done. So thank you for your attention and thank you for your patience. I'm sorry for always switching the screens back and forth. And also I just point you back to this document that for the full content of my practical lab, I've already uploaded to the to my GitHub page. Please open this GitHub link on the top of at the top of the document, and all of the important links are already listed here. So thank you.